Following on from the previous video, I asked you to integrate this. And I also asked you to keep an eye out for this, and try and keep an eye out for this. So if you look at this here, because of this square root here, we should be aiming for this here, because there's a square root here. So somehow try and get from here to somehow write it in this form, so that when you come to integrate this, it will be something along the line of inverse sine of something. Okay, so because of this square root here, we should be aiming for this, as opposed to this, Okay, and also if you look at this here, if you've got something squared and then plus or minus another thing, and then if you look at this thing here, in a way, this is like in a way it's like this. So if you look at this here, and if you look at not the square roots, just this bit here, if you look at this here, this should give you an indication that you should be using completing the square. You should complete the square to get it in this form here, because completing the square would be you writing it. It would be you writing it in this form here, x plus something, and then squared, and then plus or minus another thing here. So if you look at this here, it should give you an indication that you should use completing the square here. You should use complete the square, or to obtain, to get it into this form here. Okay, so our next step here is we want to get from here to something of this form here. So, and then our eye should zoom into this bit here. So this should give us an indication that we should use complete the square on this thing here. So now completing the square. So when we use completing the square, our minds are geared towards something of this form here. Let's rewrite this, because of this negative here. It's quite confusing. So let's rewrite it as this. So just looking at this here, rewrite it as let's factor out the negative. So because our minds are geared towards this being positive. So let's factor out the negative. So rewrite as this. Okay, so now let's just concentrate on completing the square on this bit only. Forget about the negative. We factored it out. So completing the square now would be us zooming into these two terms, and we're only going to need half of this. So it's going to be something along the line of, hang on, x, half of this would be -2, and then take away the rubbish, because -2 times -2, that will give us +4. Take away the rubbish, which is -4. Now carry this down. Okay, so this will be this. So that will, oh sorry, it's squared here. So now when you complete the square, it would be this. X minus 2 squared minus 9. So that's us. So we can rewrite this in this form here. And notice that we've got a squared here. So we've got a squared here. So we are from here, we are getting towards something along the line of these two here. Okay. Well, complete the square on this. It would then give you this. It would then give you this. It would then give you this. Okay. But the thing is, we are trying to get from here to this form here. But we're not quite there yet. So if you look at this, it's got to be 1 minus something squared. This is a 9. So let's factor out the 9. That will then give us this thing here. Okay, that will then give us this thing. Now we've got a 1 here. We've got a 1 here. Negative. Well, we're going to sort this thing out later. So from here, factor out the 9, because we want to create this 1 here. So now we've got a 1 now. Okay, so from here, you can break it up like this, because remember, square root of a b is the same as square root of a times the square root of b. So you can break this up as one block multiplying another block. So this block here is really the number 3. Okay, so now we've got a constant. So take the constant out. So that will then give us this. Okay, we are now you can see we are getting nearer and nearer to this form here, because here we've got a square root, of 1 minus something squared. So if you look at this here, we've got a square root of 1 minus something here. We can rewrite this bit here as this. We can rewrite it as this, because if you look at this squared, x minus 2 over 3. If you square the whole thing, that's like you doing this, which is exactly the same as this. These two are exactly the same. Because the point here is that we can rewrite this as this. Now if you look at this, this is now of this form here. 1 minus something squared. 1 minus something squared. So now this is of this form now. So now let me just give you a quick reminder. When you differentiate the normal, just a simple x, it will give you this. But when you differentiate something complicated in here, it's got to be this times the derivative of the bubble itself. Bear that in mind. Okay. So up here, so we are currently here, which is the same as this. Hang on. So we are currently here. So now when you integrate this, it should give you inverse sine of this bubble here. Where there? Oops. Over 3. But the thing is, when you differentiate this, it will give you 1 over square root of 1 minus that bubble there, x minus 2 over 3. But then you've got it times with the derivative of the bubble itself, which is a third. So the thing is, we are currently here. So we need to negate this 3 here. Basically, we need to negate this thing here. So if you integrate this here, it will give you this thing here, and this 3 here is really us trying to negate that third there. So well, think about it. You might have to press a pause. You might have to pause the video and think about it. But if you integrate this, it would give you this thing here with this 3. This 3 here is what confuses a lot of people. It is really us negating that third earlier. Okay. Well, integrate this. It will give you this, and then these two will cancel out, giving you this. Okay.